Good morning everyone. In this video I'm going to analyze the live price action for EU and DXY to see what opportunities may be available today. You're going to see my strategy and my analysis, so if you're interested in those then please stick around. Okay, starting off on the daily, we have EU on the top, DXY on the bottom. What is the daily showing us? Well, yesterday we closed out as a bearish day. It kind of closed a bit more as a low test, and it's, I guess, an inside bar, though I don't really read into that sort of strategy myself, but inside bar of the previous day. We were very bearish yesterday. However, of course, we've reached down into the discount of the previous day candle and pulled back, right? So there would be some sort of lower time frame sell side liquidity POY there that caused a pullback in the evening, but still closed out as bearish. Today we've got a lot of bearish momentum quite early in the morning, as you can see here, so we'll see how that's going to go. As you can see, we have a kind of internal range which will be clearer on the lower time frame, but reading it just from the daily, you can see here where we're creating this low, lower high, higher low, lower high. So a bit of a confusing range once we go down into the other time frames. So some sort of support around here. Either way, are we going to be bearish or are we going to be bullish, right? What does this support here mean? But this is a lower high after a higher low. So we'll see what that says on the lower time frame shortly. We still have our previous daily high and low as sell side and buy side liquidity. On DXY, it's similar. However, of course, we did make that higher high where that higher low is. So we had that SMC divergence I showed yesterday, and we'll see again on lower time frame. So it's a bit more trending here on DXY. We're starting off the day very bullish because it's our inverse, obviously. Previous daily high just barely intact. We're quite close to it now. So I don't think there's much else to say on the daily. And the daily's given hints to the lower time frame. So let's go down to the 4 hour and see what that shows us. Right, so let's address that price action here on the 4 hour. We have our bearish leg, as I said, and as I hinted to on the daily, we've created a kind of range at the moment. We had this low here, lower high, higher low, lower high. So what are we going to go on to do here, right? So yesterday we was bearish, pulled back to the more of a discount of this leg here. We've mitigated this POI, filled this imbalance, and we failed to have much of a bullish reaction from there so far. We're moving very bearish so far today. So it's looking like, you know, this is like a failed internal lower high, and this would be a weak low, and we may continue bearish. That's how the picture looks now. Of course, we have 2 more hours left of this candle on the 4 hour, but yeah, ranged slightly where, you know, because like I said, we had that inside bar, we have an inside range, right? So we created this leg here, this bullish day, and then, you know, we've got a bearish day internal to that. So when we pulled back here, that was a weak low, but then we didn't break that low. So then this became kind of like a weak high, but then we didn't break that high. So we're between weak lows and highs, sort of, if you look at it like that on the 4 hour. Hope that's not confusing. At the moment, to get back into today, we've got bearish momentum, okay? We have failed from this low here and this POI so far to go on and continue and take this high if we was going to switch to a bullish order flow. So that's what I'm taking from it. We've obviously pulled back and somewhat closed and mitigated this imbalance here and there, which we'll see on a lower time frame a bit more clearly, has been an internal buy side liquidity sweep during Asia. So buy side liquidity on our side, a bit of a mitigation of this POI here, but overall, yes, we have a bit more of a confusing high time frame picture lately because of this. However, we're still overall in a bearish trend. Now, what I would like to draw to help me with my bias is DXY, because DXY is trending, right? We have high high, high low, high high, higher low. Okay, so we're not stuck in that same weird weak high, weak low situation there. So it does look like we could have a bullish bias here on DXY because we pulled back to a discount somewhat, found a low here, swept some internal sell side liquidity here. There's some more SMC divergence here, which I think I've drawn out on the hourly. right? And now it looks like we're continuing bullish momentum today. So I like that on the DXY. So I think the DXY adding to what I see here in terms of this bullish momentum failing for me is bullish DXY, bearish EU. So I know that was a mouthful. I hope that was clear. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Also, if there's anything I can do to improve, do also let me know in the comments. Don't be afraid to let me know how I can improve what I'm doing here. So back to it. Following that bullish trend on DXY, we're failing to make new highs on EU. Bearish momentum. This low failed to break this high with this bullish momentum here after mitigating the imbalance. So I'm going to go with weak low here, weak low here. So let's go down to the hourly and see what that shows us. So we can be a bit more detailed here on the hourly, right? So we had our 4-hour imbalance and 1-hour order block. Like I said, we had that SMC divergence at the top there where DXY has just about swept below this low and EU failed, right? So that was the premise of yesterday's bias as well. We had bearish momentum from there, bullish momentum from there. Now what happened there was we pulled all the way back to this discount POI here, this 1-hour order block from this internal leg here. After we failed to take this high when we pulled back here, this was weak. We came all the way down to this discount, mitigated that in the afternoon, evening, and then for the late NY session had a bit of a pullback. Now what did we pull back to? As you can see here, we had a 1-hour imbalance right there, which was met as resistance, and we formed our Asia range, right, clearly. Now that is a lower high. This now became a weak low. You can see we did our Asia thing, our Asia range, and we swept that internal buy side liquidity. Since then, we've been bearish. Okay, so buy side liquidity sponsorship, bearish price action. Now DXY continuing with its higher time frame bullish trend. We swept that sell side liquidity, broke above this sort of internal support structure here, making that new 1-hour bullish internal structural leg. So new bullish leg, broke above these highs, pulled back, bit into this imbalance like we did above, and then since then we've been bullish. Now we've just gone through the previous daily high. Right, we are a bit diverged. We haven't taken a previous daily low at this low yet. Now that's unfortunate for trading direction, as now we've got buy side liquidity which may sponsor this pullback. So we'll see how that looks. So just to summarize, I know I've said a lot. 4-hour giving me that bearish picture, especially because DXY is giving that bullish picture on the 4-hour. 1-hour also giving me that bearish picture because yesterday we mitigated this 1-hour POI, had some bullish momentum from there, mitigated another 1-hour POI, right, which held as resistance. And then into today and Asia, we've swept buy side liquidity and been bearish. So this becomes my week low. And it also looks like, we failed to break that previous high. So this should, in that same theory, be weak. And DXY looks very bullish. Now, when we come into the London session now, of course, yes, the bias applies. I'd prefer to sell and go bearish. So let's go down to the M15 and discuss our options and possible trades for today. So on the M15 now, we see that SMC divergence very clearly from that Asia spike above the evening New York price action. Very clear SMC divergence, buy side liquidity sponsorship, and then we've broken down. It's super unfortunate this morning that we've had so much bearish and bullish momentum that we've taken that target on DXY and possibly now again on EU before giving us an opportunity to enter. You can see here that we had this 15-minute order block where the momentum came into the market during the Asia session. We had a break of structure very clearly, right? We had this low, high, now lower low. Okay, we broke structure very clearly to continue with this overall trend. We did not get the pullback into that to trade towards this previous daily low. We've already met the previous daily high with DXY, and that's very negative to me. Of course, it's got the same order block, the same leg here, and it looks very nice in terms of structure and trading direction, but now if we don't take this previous daily low as well and we pull back, we'll have SMC divergence against us, and in general we'll have buy side liquidity from DXY against us, though it may only be to sponsor the pullback. So we'll have to see how this pullback happens. So the immediate opportunity, let's say, even if it does take this low, would be for it to pull back correctively, and it'd have to be quite corrective, obviously, to consider the option, in my opinion, to our M15 order block here, which is where the break of structure was, and then we would set our order from there, also down to the lows or wherever the structural low is. You could put your stop loss just above the high for 4 pips or something, trading down to that low. We'd possibly have the inducement from the pullbacks around this area here, just below our entry. So we've got imbalance, order block, break of structure, momentum from that order block, possible corrective pullback with the trend. We had internal liquidity sweep earlier that day. That's kind of counteracted by the previous daily low and high here, I would assume. We have the matching order block here on DXY. So it doesn't look bad. I would have preferred it if we had just, once we broke that structural there, pulled back from around this area, I'd have happily entered that. Stop loss probably just above this high because of the way that's like a range. The safest stop for sure would be up here for about 9 pips. We can still do that if you want to, and target, to continue to trend for wherever you want to go. That's not a bad trade either, assuming that the Asia high is going to hold. It's typical when we break down like this, the Asia high would hold, but there's no telling what's going to happen from the previous daily low sell side liquidity and the buy side liquidity of this previous daily high here. It may seek out some more buy side liquidity here on EU, but I do think this looks good. It's one to be debated for sure. The safer option for me would be the following: to allow price to pull back however it does pull back, and then from there you wait to see if you get that break of structure again here, so that order flow looks like it's going to continue, and then we can pull back to our lower time frame possible order block with imbalance to continue shorter. So the continuation there, right, may be the better option. Inducement around here. I think there might be a 1 hour fair value gap around here as well, which would be very helpful as a higher time frame POI. We've got our new lower time frame order block imbalance there, break of structure around this point here to kind of confirm that this area is going to hold, and then you would set your order, which would be even similar to the one above, except you could have a smaller stop now around this area here to go to wherever the lows may be. I think that's good there. I would wait for some order flow, see what's going to happen. The momentum is with us though. This buy side liquidity so far is doing nothing, so we'll see how price goes. So I hope you gained value from that. I hope everything was clear. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.